Good evening, Charlotte, and thanks for joining me for another episode of QC Quarantine Concerts on Friday night. It is so wonderful to be with you all tonight. That's a little something from Jason Robert Brown, not from a particular musical, one of his albums, and we're going to hear some great Jason Robert Brown music tonight from some of my dear friends, Ron Turner and Lindsey Schroeder. Welcome, friends. Thanks so much for joining me tonight.
Hi!
It is so great to see you. I love that, of course, we have the signature Lindsey wall behind us there, which if you've ever been to an event, you know the shiplap wall, and it's a signature item. So thanks again for joining us on this lovely Friday night.
Oh, thanks for having us.
So real quick, I just want to take a second. I know that all three of us have worked together. I know that you guys have done a whole lot of shows all over Charlotte. So briefly, just take a minute, introduce yourself, and tell us where we have seen you around town.
First. Okay, thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsey Schroeder. I am originally from Evansville, Indiana, and I have family watching from there tonight. So hi, family back home. But I moved to Charlotte about 2.5 years ago, and since then I've had the pleasure of performing at Theater Charlotte, Matthews Playhouse, CPCC, and then just last year I went down to Fort Mill and performed down there. So I've had a lot of great opportunities that I'm super thankful for over the past 2.5 years, and gotten to knock off some dream roles, which has been always a pleasure. And in my very first show here in Charlotte, which was Aida, I met this extremely talented man who I'm so thankful I get to sing with tonight. I was in the ensemble and he was the leading man. But we became, even though I was the low folk of the ensemble, we became great friends throughout the show, and have been great friends for the past 2 years.
And I'm Ron Turner, everyone, also known as Ron TDS in some shows. And I was, I've been in Charlotte for probably 20 years now, born and raised in North Carolina, as you can tell by that beautiful accent. I have been doing theater, for several years, but probably got involved in theater locally about 7 or 8 years ago when I started actually down at Narrowway Productions, which is a Christian theater down in Fort Mill, and I've held several roles there, except for Jesus. I told him I would not play Jesus, not worthy, but I have played Samson and some other things there in Theater Charlotte, where I met Lindsey, where I met Zach, with this wonderful music direction. That was great. It's like my first real show in Charlotte in Aida, and then moved from there to Central Piedmont, where I was Shay in Ovida, and I hope Lucia's watching, because that was probably one of my favorite shows that I have ever done. It was also a dream role. So several other things that I've done, and not really working on anything currently, but obviously I don't think anyone is, but hopefully some things coming soon.
Awesome. Well, I would certainly say that the two of you in recent days in the Charlotte theater community, you definitely have seen one of the two of you on a stage, like you've said, knocking out some awesome roles and some great shows. So it is so great to have the two of you on here tonight to sing individually, and then at the end to sing a duet for us, which will be super exciting. You're giving Lucia and Jeff here a run for their money with the duet. Yeah, there's some friendly competition going on here. I love it.
I'm not sure we can compete with them. They're pretty high up there.
Hey, it's all good. We got time. We got like 30 minutes before we get to that one. We got plenty of time to build up.
Warm up just a tad.
Yeah.
So to kick us off tonight, we're going to sing a little Jason Robert Brown, which we know is one of my loves, one of my favorites. And Lindsey, you did this show recently in Fort Mill. I know you mentioned that already.
Yes.
You did not do it with Ron, but you did it with this friend who is watching here tonight, Joe McCourt. Thanks for joining us, Joe. I am so lucky I got to see that show. It was an incredible piece of theater. I love that show. You guys were great in it together with my dear friend Vicky Carville. Just a great move all the way around. So Ron, I think you're going to kick us off with a little Moving Too Fast from the last 5 years. Take it away.
Absolutely. Thank you. Singing Moving Too Fast because that's one of the first songs that Lindsey helped me with an audition on. So there we go. Did I just hear an alarm start ringing? Did I see sirens go flying past? No, I don't know what tomorrow's bringing. I got a singular impression, things are moving too fast. I'm glad to move as you're a skater. I'm riding hot as a rocket blast. I just expected it 10 years later. I got a singular impression, things are moving too fast. You say, oh no, step on the brakes, do whatever it takes to stop this train. So slow, the lights burning red. And I say, no, whatever I do out there on the road, I don't complain. No matter what I try, I'm flying full speed ahead. I never worry to walk the wire. I won't do anything just half-assed. But with the stakes getting somewhat higher, I got a singular impression that things are moving too fast. I found a woman I love, and I got an agent who loves me. Things might get bumpy, but some people analyze every detail. Some people stall when they can't see the trail. Some people freeze. I don't fear that they'll fail, but I keep rolling on. Some people can't find success with their art. Some people never feel love in their heart. Some people can't tell the two things apart, but I keep rolling on. Oh, maybe I can't follow through. What else am I supposed to do? I dreamed of riding like the high and mighty. Now I'm the subject of a bidding war. I met my personal Aphrodite. I'm doing things I never dreamed of before. We take the step together. Found an apartment on 73rd. The Atlantic Monthly's printing my first chapter. $2,000 without rewriting one word. I left Columbia and I don't regret it. I wrote a book and Sonny made already. My heart's been stolen, my ego's swollen. I just keep rolling along. Well, what else is in store? Got all this and more before 24. It's hard not to be sure I'm spinning out of control. Out of control. I'm feeling pained, rushed and hurried. I'm feeling out and down last. But I can't get worried about the singular impression. I got a singular impression, things are moving too fast.
Well done, sir. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
That is a big song, and I always forget just how crazy Jason Robert Brown is until
Absolutely
I see it
nuts.
and I hear it.
Absolutely.
But nothing that I haven't heard you do before, and I am not surprised at all that you just knocked that one out of the park. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. It's one of my favorites. I loved it, and just thought, why not? Might as well go for the jugular. So.
And what a way to kick us off tonight, not only with a great song from the last 5 years, but also in a time that we are all moving way too fast and then had to kind of slam our brakes on and kind of regroup, refigure out a new kind of way to work. And here we are.
Absolutely. And I thought that too with like some of the songs that we are doing tonight, that it just kind of moves along with what's going on in the world today.
It does. It does. Thanks so much, Ron.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Lindsey, I think that you're going to pop on in now. I love that I don't have to switch like camera things.
That's right. We're making it easy on you tonight. How about that?
It's wonderful. So
Musical
to
chairs here.
yes, and if you missed Lindsey in the last 5 years at Fort Mill, that's okay because you're going to do a little I Can Do Better Than That
Right.
for all of us that may have missed that production. So take it away, Lindsey.
Thanks, Zach. My best friend had a little situation at the end of her senior year. And like a shot, she and Mitchell got married that summer. Carol Ann getting bigger every minute, thinking, what am I doing here? While Mitchell's out every night being a heavy metal drummer. They got a little cute house on a little cute street with a crucifix on the door. Mitchell got a job at a record store in the mall. Just the typical facts of a typical life in a town on the Eastern Shore. Thought about what I wanted. It wasn't like that at all. Need Carol and a cute baby sweater, thinking I could do better than that. Anyway, in a year or so, I moved to the city, thinking, what have I got to lose? Got a room, got a cat, and got 20 pounds thinner. Met a guy in a class I was taking who might say looked like Tom Cruise. He wouldn't leave me alone lest I went with him to dinner. And I guess he was cute, and I guess he was sweet, and I guess he was good in bed. I gave him my life for the better part of a year. And so I'm starting to think that this maybe might work. And the second it entered my head, he needed to take some time off, focus on his career. Yeah, he blew me off with a heartfelt letter. I thought I could do better than that. You don't have to get a haircut, and you don't have to change your shoes. You don't have to like Duran Duran, just love me. And you don't have to put the seat down, and you don't have to watch the news. You don't have to learn to tango. You don't have to eat prosciutto. You don't have to change a thing, just stay with me. I want you and nothing but you. Miles and miles of you. Finally, I'll have something worthwhile to think of each morning. And you and nothing but you. No substitution will do. Nothing but fresh, undiluted, and your top of the line. And totally I don't need any lifetime commitments. I need to get engaged tonight. I don't want you to throw up your walls and defenses. I don't mean to put on any pressure, but baby, I know what I think is right. And I spend every day reconfiguring my senses. Now when we get to my house, take a look at that town, take a look at how far I've gone. I will never go back anymore. And it feels like my life led right to your side, and will keep me there from now on. Think about what you wanted.
Well done, Lindsay.
Thank you, Zach.
What a nice revisit of that song from that show. I'm sure it
It
is.
has been such a pleasure to revisit it. It was last November, and man, it doesn't seem that long ago, but it was great to sing that again. So thanks for the opportunity.
And I'm sure it's also probably so much nicer to sing that song that full out without having to know that you just sang like for 12 billion notes and had 12 billion more to sing.
For those of you who don't know the last 5 years, that song comes after 7 other ballads, and you're by the way, you're dripping in sweat, hoping your eyelash is still on, trying to re-put more makeup on your face. But yeah, to start the show with that was great. And to start Kathy, for those of you who don't know, last 5 years, Kathy tells her story from the end, where she's heartbroken, and ends the story in the beginning where she's happy. So to start off the show happy, already in a better spirit. So thanks for that, Zach.
Yes, thank you. So Ron, if you want to join us for just a second before you start singing, Lindsay, don't go anywhere. So I noticed here that a lot of our other friends from AIDA are also watching, because I'm seeing comments from Carlos, from Victor, from Leanna. That is part of the whole gang from that show. And one thing I think is so cool is I think that for both of you and a lot of them, that was kind of your like first show in Charlotte. I know, Ron, you'd done Narrowway and stuff before, but as far as like the musical theater, like scene in Charlotte and stuff. And so it was so great to see so many friendships be formed from that show, and just kind of the different roles that you guys went on to do in other theaters. I know that Carlos is now in Florida. And so there's a whole bunch of, lifespan that's happened since that time. So kind of one thing that I think is especially important during this time is that sense of community and the way that theater can provide that for us. Kind of what would be one of your favorite memories from, any of your shows in Charlotte where you really kind of felt that bond of community in a production?
Go ahead.
I probably would say AIDA was very special. I think because of what you just said, Zach, was exactly right. That it was like kind of a first show for a lot of us, and then being either new to Charlotte or new to Theater Charlotte, and then like even the ones that were seasoned Theater Charlotte I call them the kids that are now obviously grown up and gone off to college. They were so accepting and so warm, and it just became like a family. And so you felt that, right? You felt that with Theater Charlotte, which is why I think a lot of us ended up being very close friends, and we still hang out even if we don't do shows together very often. So that's probably one of my biggest and favorite memories.
Definitely. I would totally agree. One of the cool things about Theater Charlotte is that everybody is in the same dressing room. So a lot of times in theater, there are different dressing rooms, around, but backstage at Theater Charlotte, they kind of have the green area with the couches, the green room, and then you have a female dressing room and a male dressing room. So there were a lot of people, at least in the female dressing room, who were around my age. And so I had literally just moved to Charlotte. I think I was moving the week to Charlotte that we had rehearsal. I was like, sorry, I can't be there. I'm moving from Indiana. But there were a lot of females like Leanna, Abby Welch, Emily Whitty, just some really wonderful girls. So we really got to be in that dressing room every single night, because we were doing how many shows a week? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a lot of shows a week. So we were just there every night, encouraging each other to keep going, and it's a really tight theater, but it was just promoted such community, like you said.
And I think that also helped spill into other venues that we've been in, right? I felt the same thing, because I think it was a learning experience for me, one, and then I took that with me to the next theater and the next theater and on. So
yes, absolutely. Which Ron, your leading lady from Evita is watching. Lucia, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you, Lucia. Total queen.
Yes.
So I know that we're going to hear a little bit more, Lindsay, from another show that you did in Charlotte, kind of towards the end, and then y'all are going to sing a duet, which I think is so cool. But Ron, you're going to sing a little bit from Jesus Christ Superstar. Now, is this a show that you've done before?
So no, I've never done Jesus Christ Superstar before, but I did do the Andrew Lloyd Webber review last year before last, with Lucia and some other big names in Charlotte is what I call them. I was like, oh yeah, I'm on the stage with the stars. And I actually was able to sing Jesus Christ Superstar, the actual name of the show. But it is one of my favorite shows. So hopefully one day I'll get to actually play Jesus in that show. So
Well, there you go. Well, for those of you that are in charge of theaters in Charlotte, take a listen then as Ron sings this song from Superstar.
my hair's
Take
already
it away.
growing out because I can't get to the to the barber, so we might as well
Keep it
use
going.
Yeah.
There you go. Go ahead and take it away, Ron.
Thank you. I only want to say, if there is a way, take this cup away from me, for I don't want to taste its poison, feel it burning. I have changed. Not sure as when we started, then I was inspired. Now I'm sad and tired. Listen, surely I've exceeded your expectations. Tried for 3 years, feels like 30. Would you ask as much for any other man? But if I die, see this saga through and through this thing you ask me. Let them hate me, hate me, hurt me, nail me to the tree. I wanna know, my Lord. I wanna know, my Lord. I wanna see my God. I wanna see my God. Why should I die? Will I be more noticed than I ever was before? Will the things you said and done matter anymore? I wanna know, my Lord. I wanna know, my Lord. I wanna see my God. I wanna see my God. If I die, what will be my reward? If I die, what will be my reward? Have to know, my Lord. Have to know, my Lord. Why should I die? Why should I die? Can you show me now that I will not be killed in vain? Show me just a little of your omnipresent reign. Show me just a reason for you wanting me to die. You're far too keen on wearing out, but not so hot on why. All right, I'll die. Just watch me die. See how I die. See how I die. Oh, watch me die. Watch me die. Then I was inspired. Now I'm sad and tired. After all, I tried for 3 years. Seems like 90. Why am I scared to finish what has started. What you started, I started. God, thy will is small. Destroy your only son. I will drink of poison. Nail me to your cross. I never ate me. Leave me bleeding. Kill me dead now. Before I change my mind. Now. Before I change my
Incredible. Incredible. I was like, is he going to break the internet when he hits the high note? No, almost. Not
I think
quite.
it's safe to say Ron is singing higher tonight than I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really? Did you hear that note? That was insane.
Yeah,
Put me in my element and I just go for it.
there you go. I know that's like really your sweet spot, so really you would prefer to sing there all the time anyway.
Tonight, I said tonight must be the night of the Belchers.
It is. So I'm going to pop you guys out for just a second and go over a few announcements, and then we'll be back to close out the night with some Bonnie and Clyde, so don't go anywhere.
Yes.
So I am so grateful tonight to be joined with these awesome friends. Again, I love that they're just going for it and choosing all these songs. It's incredible. So just as a quick reminder, I'm going to throw our website up here, qcconcerts.com. Again, I'm so excited to be here with you guys for 7 weeks now in a row. I honestly can say I never thought that we would still be here and still doing these, but I'm so grateful for this opportunity and to have the support of the theater community and just to be able to continue to provide some sort of theater for the Charlotte area during this time. It's been an incredible journey, and thank you guys so much for being here with me for this. So a few reminders coming up tomorrow night. We will not have our own live episode at 7:30. Instead, we will be part of the Theater Charlotte Webathon, their virtual night for singing that happens from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So at 7:30, I'll take over their broadcast with a special 30-minute QC quarantine concerts segment on their broadcast. So I'll be sure to put kind of a watch link onto our QC Facebook page for you to join in there as well. So definitely be sure to take advantage of that. It is a fundraiser for the theater tomorrow night, so something to look forward to. I'm really excited. I'll be joined with Robert Bush, the former president of ASC before he retired, and then also with Ryan Deal, who used to work at ASC, did a lot at Theater Charlotte, and is now in the cultural creative office at Greensboro, in the city of Greensboro. So I know he could give the full details on that title. So I'm super excited to be spending my evening with them tomorrow night. Definitely something to look forward to. And then we'll be having a special episode on Sunday in memory of Paige Johnston Thomas. So I'm working on putting all of that together now. She was an incredible, incredible woman, and we are so blessed to have had her light in the theater community in Charlotte. So be on the lookout for those things coming up. But we're going to close out our evening tonight with a little bit of Bonnie and Clyde. Lindsey had the opportunity to do this role as well at Matthew's Playhouse. If you missed the show, it was incredible. She was fantastic in this work. She was also directed by Billy Inslee, who directed her in the last 5 years in Fort Mill. So a special shout out to our friend Billy Inslee as well. So she's going to sing a little bit of Dying Ain't So Bad, and then they're going to close out with the finale from this show. So and a great, great work of theater. Again, if you miss Lindsey in this role, you have an opportunity to hear her. I'm going to go ahead and bring her on because I see that she's ready. So Lindsey, to take it away with a little bit of Dying Ain't So Bad, go ahead.
Thanks so much,
Thank you.
Zach. Dying ain't so bad. Not if you both go together. Only when one's left behind us, it gets sad. Only hope to God that I go first. I couldn't live on memories. I'm sorry, but I'm not that strong. There are some things in life you can't replace. A love like ours don't happen to us when all these days are through. Mine will be too. 'Cause Diane is so bad. Not if you won't go together. Only when one's left behind does it get sad. But a short and loving life, that ain't so bad. I've met boys who talk about farms and horses, and they don't mean much for me. I don't need to end up in a rocking chair. It seems you get to live your life just once, and that's how it's gotta be. But I'd rather breathe in life than dust the air. Diane, so bad. Not if you both go together. Only when one's left alone does he get sad. A short and loving life. A short and loving life. A short and loving life. That ain't so bad.
Beautiful work, Lindsey.
Thanks so much, Zach.
Again, I feel like I saw that show at Matthews, and I'm convinced that was even better than you sounded when you sang it.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's
I
crazy
love
just how a year later, just getting a year older, how it changes in your voice, and you got to kind of relearn things and refix things. So.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I know that we talked about, I think last night with our guests then, is just that constant journey and how we never stop learning, we never stop growing, we never stop training our bodies just to become better instruments and really fine tune that craft, not only just for our own selves, but then to be able to share with others, help us become better teachers and educators. I know that you have your studio, and that everything you're learning is certainly a lesson for those students as well. So
yes, and it's so neat now to be on the opposite side of the table. Zach and I actually got to work on Susical earlier this year before the quarantine and the pandemic happened. We worked together, which is great. We were back on the keyboard, conducting all kinds of stuff with that fun score. But how neat to be on the other side and just learn from people who are younger than you. And as you're teaching these different techniques, it's kind of a reminder to yourself to, hey, I need to check on my breath support. I need to make sure I'm doing what I'm preaching, right? So.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, I think Ron is on standby to join us for one more final song to close out our evening.
Come on back, Ron.
I love that we have a nice duet to close us out. Also, one more little song from Bonnie and Clyde, and kind of, I think it's a great little message right now. The world will remember us, and what a legacy that we can leave through just those small little acts that we do, especially during this time, finding small ways to reach out, to connect with people, and just share our gifts. So I'm so grateful for the two of you tonight sharing with all of us. So close us out with some Bonnie and Clyde.
All right. Well, who would have thought that a waitress from Rowena would have had the balls to bust me out with my old 45? And who would have thought that a farm boy from Toledo could outsmart the smartest lawman and walk out of here alive. My name is gonna make the history books. Too bad I won't be here. I might have started out with small-time crooks, but in a year or two, I'll be as known as Chicago's Al Capone.
Bye, baby.
See you soon. Thanks to you, Bonnie, babe, I can make plans again. I got lots of reasons to keep living. It's true that love will set you free, and this world will remember me.
Say you go sweet, and I wanna be in movies. I can't name one movie star who's doing robberies on the side. I know in my heart, babe, that Hollywood is calling. How can I be in the spotlight if we always have to hide?
We're gonna need some Hollywood. 1 or 2 jobs will do it.
But after that, we will be done for good.
Hey, when Hollywood gets hold of you, they'll be saying, Clara, no need to rush, everybody gets our autograph. Help around, be the words on our epitaph.
Living legends, that's what we will be, and that's okay with me. Every way that we go, folks will turn their heads. They'll be hollering from Dodge to Denver. We are the pair that they'll discuss. Yes, this world will remember us. We are making things sure that they leave our mark. You don't leave your mark by digging the chair. No wonder we'll never stop. Yes, this world will remember us.
Yes, that world will remember us.
This whole world will remember us. No way they won't remember us. Woo!
Well done, friends. Y'all are having too much fun over there. Too much fun.
First night of
That's right.
mid-quarantine.
That's right.
Right.
Phase 1.
Well, thank you again so much for joining me tonight, friends. We're about out of time, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. But what a great way to spend my Friday evening. It is so wonderful to hear you sing and to hear you sing together. I don't know that I've heard the two of you sing together a duet before, so this might be a first. So how great to have that time tonight. So thank you again. From all of us here in Charlotte, we'll be back again tomorrow with Theater Charlotte for their special concert. So be sure to join us then. Thanks again, Lindsey and Ron. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks,
Bye, guys.
guys.